Right, we have Lamont here. Okay, Lamont, tell us how to say your last name.
Badru.
Badru.
Okay, full disclosure, I purposely had Lorraine introduce you because I didn't want to screw up your last name.
Okay.
Like, I'm just gonna keep it
And
real.
I didn't want to screw it up either. That's why I
we
asked
keep it real
you
on
to
the
say.
show. So like,
Erica Badru with an R.
Oh, okay.
so
That's pretty
so
cool.
pronounce it again.
LaMont Badru.
Badru. So
Yep.
Badru with R. Badru.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Badru. Okay. You probably have to tell me 10 more times, but I'm gonna get it.
It's all good.
Yeah. Go ahead. Man.
Well, I know Lamont from, real quickly, right back in the days when I was a councilwoman, I made a deal with the mayor, with this old school that was getting ready to get torn down, and I made a deal with him that I would vote on the budget, and if they put money towards some type of community center at the school. It never went through. I mean, people helped out. Gary Pretlow gave me $50,000 for it. There was, a lot of people gave up, and I ended up leaving the city council, and that's where Lamont came, and he took over. And Lamont fought for that school to be a community center for a very, very long time. Unfortunately, it did not come into fruition, but the Power Lab was born. And many other programs were born after that. And then this is where I turn it over to you, Lamont, and you let people know all the stuff that you do and what you've done for the community and the programs that you have that you're empowering the folks in the city of Yonkers. I'm just very excited to have you here because I brag about you all the time. Thanks, AJ.
Yes, you do. And before we do that, Lorraine, 3020-A is the process of terminating a teacher.
Got it. Thank you.
So I just wanted before that comment goes up and I don't ever see it again.
Okay.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, Lorraine, I appreciate you. I remember before we even started the campaign, back when I was in college, I don't know if you remember this, but I think you were working in City Hall, and I came to see you about School 19, and you were the first one to give me advice around like things that we should do, things we should look at to like try to figure out how to get access to that school. And then when I was transitioning out of college, I decided to bring community members together, and we formed the Free School 19 campaign. And that was basically a campaign where people from the neighborhood and, some of my friends from college, but mainly people from, Southwest Yonkers came together, and we created a vision for that school building. The building had been abandoned since I was a kid. I grew up on Highland, so I used to walk past the building every day, and we used to play stickball on the concrete of the building. And we organized the campaign. We ended up building a lot of community support. The city put out an RFP. We ended up not being selected. We tried to block the developer who did get the building, who wanted to build market rate housing, but we lost in the city council by 1 vote. And that was kind of like a really pivotal moment for us because we wanted to figure out as an organization how we can make an impact in our neighborhood that goes beyond School 19. So we use that as an opportunity to build the relationships and continue building the relationships that we built. And we basically did a needs assessment for Southwest Yonkers, particularly for the Highland Hill area of Southwest Yonkers, which is like Ludlow Park, Highland. And we trained literally maybe 7 to 10 young people from our neighborhood to collect survey data. And we knocked on literally every door in our neighborhood to collect data around what people identified as the most important needs in our community. And we used the data that we got from that to kind of guide the work of our organization. The organization is called Community Governance and Development Council. And one of the biggest needs that we identified from doing that grassroots work was the lack of economic opportunity. So that kind of led us in 2 different directions. One is we decided that we would play a role in helping to work with the community to understand public policy and figure out what policies in our communities affected us the most and figure out how we can organize to get some of those policies changed or implemented. And then also we devised a plan to create like a center in our community that wasn't School 19, but a space that could be used to help like motivate people and give people resources to start up whatever project it was. So that ended up being the Power Lab. So we started the Power Lab about 2 years ago. And it serves as a co-working space and incubator in Southwest Yonkers So we provide affordable workspace to startup companies, but we also incubate a lot of really dope community groups and organizations like the Yonkers Sanctuary Movement, 100 Sisters, Brave Hearts, and some groups that are doing really great work in our community, in addition to providing training and different resources and events that we do at the Power Lab.
Well, two things I want to say real quick. So, yes, I've heard a lot about you from Lorraine, but I've heard a lot about you from a lot of people. I've been hearing about the Power Lab for the last 2 years, for at least the last year and a half, because other people have suggested you got to get. I didn't know how to get in touch with you at the time, but a lot of people have suggested, you need to have that guy on the show. They doing good work and stuff like that. And secondly, when everybody comes on, especially for the first time, we give them a little round of applause. And we didn't actually give you yours yet, so that's the official People Before Politics welcome. And as you see, we deal with, I don't know if you're familiar with the show, we deal with a lot of politics a lot of times, but the show is People Before Politics, and every time we get a chance to spotlight the people in the community. That's why Black Westchester was one of the things we founded on, to highlight those in the community, those unsung heroes that normally don't get press, but do the work every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the community, and I'm glad to have you on the show. So,
Thank you.
Yes. Well, you ready to say something, Bob?
So, yes, welcome. It's a pleasure to finally meet you in person because, like AJ, your reputation actually precedes you. I'm almost certain. I feel usually I will not go out, but I think that we had actually made tentative plans last year to attend an event that you guys were sponsoring where you want to highlight. I think you were doing some coding stuff as well in the space.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know AJ and I were very excited to learn about it. Unfortunately, there was a scheduling conflict, so we were unable to make it. But it really did strike us as an example of a really innovative, cutting-edge kind of grassroots incubation center. And so, we've on this show we're always talking about ways for, alternative models of economic development. And so I really wanted to applaud you guys for all of the progress that you made.
Thank you. Yes.
The highest praise that I can give you is it's somewhat enviable. I am envious of you. Job well done, brother.
And this is from a brother that this is the kind of things he always try to put in place, and he thinks about and he conceives in his mind, and he always say we need these type of things. So that's high praise coming from him. Like,
and we're all about collaborating. We don't see doing community work as like a competition. It's like, who does what, and how can we do it together, right? So we did a coding program that you mentioned last year, that was really successful. We had a coding meetup where folks from around Westchester could come to the Power Lab and like get basic skills in coding, share their skills, do workshops.
Right, I wanted to go to that.
That was probably the meetup.
I wanted to go to
probably the
we
meetup.
could learn some HTML.
Yeah, I got basic HTML. And I have basic
CSS.
HTML skills.
Yeah.
And basic CSS skills.
Yeah.
I don't. I want to further that though.
That's exactly the type of folks we're targeting to come attend those meetups. So we're about to get the meetup started again, and we're launching a new coding program in partnership with Yonkers Partners in Education, YPI, and it's going to be starting on April 12th. So we've been recruiting. Actually, we're about to cut off our application on Monday, but we've been recruiting young people, high school students, and the folks who are going to be facilitating the curriculum is a really renowned startup organization based in the Bronx called the Knowledge House. That's led by a young Afro-Latino woman, but like their organization is really getting a lot of attention because of like the way that they facilitate not only the coding aspect, but like really using coding as a method and a lens for looking at economic development and community development. So we're really excited to launch that program in partnership with YPI and the Knowledge House. And the application is still open, so we're still taking applications. So young people, if you're in high school, freshman, sophomore, or junior, you can go on our Instagram page, the Power Lab. And
I definitely follow you.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing too. I applaud anybody. One of the things that we talked about in the Black and Brown community, a lot of jobs, like they say, jobs are going other places. It's the technology. There's, what I'm saying? They don't teach a lot of things in school. You know what I'm saying? So our kids don't get the basic stuff to go to those next level of those other jobs. So when you have Donald Trump and those who think like them saying, I'm creating more jobs, yeah, there are more jobs at the register at Walmart and McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That nobody else.
But those aren't jobs that are going to lead us to the future.
Right,
Yeah.
that are not careers, and people can't take care of can't support their families.
Yeah, yeah.
As I always said, living in Georgia, the two biggest employers were McDonald's and Walmart, and over 60 to 65% of the employees were on some kind of
government subsidies,
food stamps or something, including the managers. That tells you
That's
something
wild.
about what they pay, and the cost of living is cheaper there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? So we need, we need to up our skill set. You know what I'm saying? And teach our kids the skills to compete for those upcoming, them jobs and be able to compete in the future. So I applaud anybody who's doing any kind of work like that.
Yeah.
Now, social media. You mentioned your Instagram. Real quick, website, a social media, Facebook page.
Yeah. So our Instagram is just the Power Lab. Our website is thepowerlabny.com. We're on Twitter. We're not that active on Twitter, but we're on Instagram, Facebook. Our Facebook is the Power Lab NY, and our website is thepowerlabny.com. So you could check us out there.
Now you said y'all were taking applications
for the coding program.
Right
for
now
high school
for something like that. What do you have to do? Fill out an application?
So it's like a basic Google form that you go on, answer some basic demographic information about yourself. Not really demographic, but just like who you are, contact information, and we have some like qualitative questions, like if you could design any type of app, what type of app would it be, just to get an idea of like what the mindset of the person is that's applying. But yeah, we have limited seats, and we have more applications than we have seats, so there's going to be a selection process.
Now, how long of a course or a training process is that?
So this is sort of a pilot. We're using a new model. So the class is going to meet once a week after school at YPI's new career center on Main Street. So it's going to go from now until towards the end of June.
Okay.
For this cohort, and the goal is to have this cohort graduate to a second year program that's going to start in the fall, and we'll recruit a new incoming cohort for the first level class.
Okay. So you're gonna do at least 2 or maybe 3 of those a year or something like that.
Yeah, depending on how many resources we pull together, we could do a whole pipeline.
Now we're gonna talk about a lot of things you're doing, a lot of things. A lot of times people are listening to the show and they be like, "Man, I like what they're doing" or something. If somebody wanted to contribute or donate, is there some kind of way for that to happen, or how do people support you? What are the things that you need? Before we talk about what you're doing, what things do you need to go forward?
Yeah, so one of our biggest focuses, one is building out the financial infrastructure for this program. So we kind of bootstrap this year's program, and we're hoping to get more resources so that we can expand the program, take on another cohort, and build a second level cohort.
You said resources, money or just
money,
okay,
monetary donations. We need computers, we need laptops. Aside from the coding program, we're about to start an incubator program, a tech-related incubator program that we're going to launch towards the end of the summer, and that's going to be recruiting people from the community who have ideas for tech products, software products. And we're going to provide them with about 6 months of free space at the Power Lab to work on their project. And we're also going to partner with a curriculum provider, a gentleman who has a lot of experience building companies and building software products. And he'll be teaching the curriculum. It'll last about 4 months, with the goal of them being able to go from the idea stage to having a prototype or demo of their actual software product.
Okay. So, and as far as donations, if I wanted to make, anybody listening now that wants to donate, what do they do? So
you could go straight to our website, thepowerlabny.com, or which is a project of our larger organization, the official organization, Community Governance and Development Council. That's what I'm the executive director of. Is cgdcny.org.
And Bob just shared that link. That's the link you just shared, Bob?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can make donations through our website.
Now, what other things does it offer? What other things do y'all do?
Yeah. So aside from the coding program, we have the incubation program. We got finished running a few series of workshops that dealt with starting a nonprofit. So we have a relationship with a really great lawyer who dedicated his time to do a series of classes on just the steps that you need to take to start a nonprofit. So the first class is always, should you start a nonprofit or should you partner with a nonprofit? And if you decide you want to start, he does classes also on fundraising at the Power Lab and on compliance. So kind of like some of the main things that you need. But then we're also looking at adapting that to like a more advanced curriculum for folks who have organizations that are looking to expand, looking to grow, looking like for different skill sets that you need to run an organization.
So are these programs for the youth or for anybody in any age group, or are there fees for these programs? Or?
So our coding program is free. Our incubator program is going to be free. Our nonprofit leadership series was free. So most of the programming that we have out of the Power Lab is free.
Is it just for youth, or can someone older attend? Or is
So the only youth program right now.
Hey, Jay, what you trying to say?
Well, hey, because me and Bob,
You look at me.
me and Bob might want to do the fundraising and the nonprofit one.
That's
we might
mainly
need
geared
to sit
towards
in on that
adults.
one.
That's mainly geared towards adults.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's mainly geared towards adults. The coding program is for young people, but most of the workshops and classes that we do from the Power Lab are geared towards adults.
As you have these different things, when you have the lawyer coming through and all that stuff, and you're getting ready to start, I want to welcome you to ahead of time come on here when you start to accept applications for the different programs.
Yeah, absolutely.
To utilize us as a venue to get the word out. Like, we're going to do this program next month. We're taking the applications over this next period of time. What it's going to offer, what you're looking for, so we can promote you.
Word, absolutely.
And bring attention to you.
No, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
That would be super helpful.
So I mean, you know how to get in touch with Lorraine, and we're following each other. All my contact information is on the website. But
Yeah.
So good.
I do want to say I'm not so surprised now to see you taking a career pathway that emphasizes public service, because I noticed on the website you're a graduate of Lehman.
Yeah, I went to Lehman College,
which is right up the street from my alma mater, BCC.
Okay.
And I had an opportunity to work
CUNY.
in the student movement with a lot of people up at Lehman, so I do know that it has a culture.
Took over some buildings back in the day.
That's the dude.
Sure, you hit it on the nail, brother.
We were following in you guys because I was an activist and I was an organizer at Lehman. I started the Black Student Union, and we studied like a lot of the work that was being done. And were you in CUNY in the 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, we studied the work that was being done in the 90s.
Right.
Because some of the same issues that were going on then were going on now. Tuition kept going up, and we were very active against that. So big props to you guys, because we look at you guys like our big brothers.
I'm going to say I look at you like a proud dad looks at a proud son.
Oh, that's so cute.
No, but
That's awesome.
but that's cool how that comes around, and it's I didn't know that, so I was just I think y'all didn't even know that, right? Until you just read it.
Just now,
Yeah.
absolutely. I just realized that. So.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want the people to know about the Power Lab, about what you're doing, or just
I just want to highlight some of the work of some of the groups that we incubate, because they're really dope and powerful women-led organizations that are doing amazing work in our community. So Tanya Connor, who is the founder of 100 Sisters.
Yeah, she's a big supporter of Black Westchester and the show. She listens to the show a lot. I don't know if she's tuned in now, but she listens a lot.
They do excellent work with the homeless community. They do a feeding program called Feed the People, where every weekend they literally feed the people. They feed the hungry. And on Saturdays at the Power Lab, they have a program called 100 Girls. So they do great work doing leadership development for young Black girls and young girls of color.
Tanya, we got to get you on the show.
Yeah, Tanya, come through. Yonkers Sanctuary Movement is one of the organizations that we're very near and dear with. They also are at the Power Lab, and they do some amazing, fascinating work for the immigrant community, protecting their rights. And we are like 100% in support of them.
Yeah, they just had a press release with the
immigration. And they were trying to get the driver's license policy passed in the budget this year, which unfortunately I heard it didn't pass.
Yeah, I went to a rally Was it Friday?
Yeah, it was Friday.
Yeah, Bob.
Outside
Yeah,
of-
we went. It was up by Andrea's office, and that was one of the things that they were trying to
the Green Light
encourage.
campaign,
To try to encourage the Senate Majority Leader to put her muscle behind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm a little disappointed that didn't get included in the budget, as well as marijuana legalization as well, because a lot of people are going to jail behind marijuana. So I think it needs something that needs to be regulated, so that we can stop mass incarceration. And then also, there's another organization doing great work in our community called Brave Hearts, that's led by a sister named Jessica. They're a youth-led peer mentoring organization for young people aging out of the foster care system. So they provide support, they do leadership development with them, and they do a lot of policy work, getting policies changed that can benefit young people aging out of the system. So I just want to highlight the work that they're doing. And we're just here to help facilitate and support great work that's happening in our community. And those are 3 great examples of work that's happening that I think needs to be brought to
Now,
people's
Lorraine,
attention.
did you have any questions? I didn't get a
No,
chance to
you
give
asked him all the questions, and
Oh.
then he filled in whatever. But I'm just so proud of you. I see how far you've come over the years, and not only are you taking people outside the box, but you're thinking outside the box, and
Thank you.
that's what we need in the community. We need it. You're a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
And no,
That
thank
means a lot
you.
coming from you.
Thank you.
I don't know if you remember, I was literally like 19, 20 when I walked into your office. I didn't know anything. I mean, so
But you made an impression.
yeah.
You made an impression,
Yeah.
and look at that.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
I'm 31.
Look at that.
I'm getting old, y'all.
12 years ago.
Well, yeah, you still. I still got 20 something on me, so yeah. You
Word up.
I hear 31 is old. I'm like, hey. I'm 53 and I'm not old. So I'm like,
that
I'm
gives
old.
me hope.
I'm older, but
gives
I'm
me
not
hope.
old. I tell my daughter will be 30 this year, and I tell her all the time, "Nah, your dad ain't old. Your dad is older. But your dad's not old though." Like she's like, keep telling yourself that, but I'm gonna keep telling myself that too. Yeah, yeah. So
Speaking of that, real quick, I just want to shout out my daughter Amina. She's outside. She's waiting for me, but she's good. She's
Okay.
on YouTube.
That's right.
oh, there's
wanna give
yeah.
her a quick shout.
Now that reminds me of me when I was your age, when I was in my 30s, when my son Blake was born. I used to haul him around New York City to all the activist community organizer events that I would attend.
Yeah.
And yeah,
We got to chop it up sometime because I want to know who you know.
Definitely,
Yeah.
I'd love to sit down and build.
My
You could
daughter-
come over
my-
and visit
Yeah,
the
we have to
Power
come
Lab.
over.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. My daughter Paula used to have to get dragged everywhere with me, but it was entertainment, so she had to go to every interview of every rap I did. They used to write for the Source and all of that, so
Okay.
she would go to all of those things, and she got the benefit of meeting everybody, all her favorite rappers and singers and stuff. But she had to go when she was with me for the summer. She had to go everywhere I went because
Yeah.
So but she got involved and she does a lot of that stuff now. So we got to get our children involved and active and
And that's how they
different things.
learn.
That's how
By
they
seeing,
learn.
by
yeah.
seeing the people that are important to them do
Absolutely.
good work.
So you would get ready to say something. Would you?
I can't even remember.
Oh, my bad. Any last
What's
words?
her name again?
Okay.
What's her name again?
Amina Rose.
I am Mina Rose.
Okay. She can see you on the screen out there. Yeah.
Alright.
Again, any last questions I didn't ask you, give the website and the social media information again. And again, anything that you need the people to know.
Okay, so definitely when we launch our rebooted coding meetup, I'll definitely be back to let you guys know.
Absolutely.
And also to let your viewers know. But you can reach us at thepowerlabny.com. If you need office space, I didn't even promote the business side of it. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yes.
also rent office space and we sell memberships. So if you are a freelancer or you have a small business, but you don't necessarily want to lease an office, we have offices. We don't have any offices available at the moment, but we have shared desk space that we rent out. Membership is relatively cheap. It's $99 a month, and you have full-time access.
So you have access to like the
To
fax, the
workspace. Printing,
the printers
Wi-Fi.
and Wi-Fi and
Wow,
all
Get
that.
work done,
$99 a month.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. So thepowerlabny.com, or follow us on social media at thepowerlab. But
And if like say I did that and I had to have a meeting, like a conference room that I would
we
have
got
access to.
we
or
have a
something.
meeting room,
Right.
and we do events all the time, so we can rent the space for events.
That's
Actually, I went to a board meeting for the Broadway Community Center was held
Yeah.
at the Power Lab.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my brother, I want you the open door policy. Please utilize it. And if, especially if you have some issues that, let's just say you're trying to get some elected officials to do some stuff that you need them to do and they're not doing it and they're not hearing you, this is your
Okay,
your
you might hear
bullhorn.
from me soon then.
This is your bullhorn.
There you go.
We got some policy stuff cooking.
This is what we do, and especially with some policy.
Yeah.
Most people just complain, you know, they're doing this to me, but you know, I really love that when people are bringing. We want to promote policies. We want to promote, you know, even if the activists, you know, they talk about Martin Luther King and all that and stuff. You can shut down the Brooklyn Bridge as many times as you want. They're still gonna drive on it the next day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you have to have some strategy to change legislation.
Yeah.
That's what it was about,
Yeah.
or to instate some policies and stuff. And you have to have that. And I think that's missing a lot with some of the younger generation, as opposed, you know, and we need that.
Yeah.
So anything like that, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you
get
guys.
the paper. And there's when you get up, there's some papers between my screen and your screen right here. And take those back to the Power Lab with you, so people can read them.
Word.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, peace, guys.
All right.
All right, thank
Lamont,
you.
it's a
Good
pleasure,
seeing you,
brother.
baby.
All right.
Bye. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, we'll talk more, man. Maybe me and AJ will show up soon.
No doubt.